So maybe let's just start with what we know today on ASF's transmission to the Dominican Republic, and maybe where we're kind of targeting right now for the concern with the U.S. in case people aren't familiar with where we're exactly at.
Sure. And I want to start out and say that this is a big deal. We're not minimizing it, but one of the things to consider is that the Dominican Republic and Haiti, which share the island of Hispaniola, have been positive for classical swine fever since probably the 60s or 70s. So even though ASF is a more concerning disease because we don't have a vaccine for it, because the OIE code, which OIE is the World Animal Health Organization, their code treats ASF differently than they do CSF. So classical swine fever, if a country has classical swine fever in their feral pig population, they're still allowed to export pork as if they were free of classical swine fever, as long as they don't have it in their domestic pigs. We don't have that same breakdown with ASF. With African swine fever, if a country's positive, they're likely to lose their entire export market. So that's just a little bit of the difference. Maybe it's reassuring, maybe it's not for people who have seen the news about African swine fever in the Dominican Republic. So what we actually know is that in 2019, USDA started a cooperative surveillance program with the Dominican Republic, and the Dominican veterinary medical officers will collect samples from farms. We understand they try to spread that around the island geographically, and they collect those samples, and on a quarterly basis, and I'm going to put quarterly in air quotes because it seems like it might not quite fit into a 3-month period, they try to get those sent to Plum Island. And that's a logistical nightmare for them because first of all, they have to find dry ice, which I understand is difficult to find on the island. Then they have to put it on a direct flight to JFK Airport, which of course during the pandemic, those didn't fly very often. And then it is transported from JFK out to the island to be tested. So the last batch of routine surveillance samples USDA got was middle of July, toward the third week of July. And they were alerted by the Dominican VMOs that there were some samples that they had concerns about the clinical pictures on the farm. And so they ran those 12 samples first from 2 different farms and came up with 8 positives for ASF. And so that definitely put things into motion.